Hey guys, thanks for tuning in again and welcome to another YouTube video of us. Today we're gonna show you 3 of our favorite exercises to improve the side split or the middle split. So enjoy the video. So guys, first exercise is gonna be the horse stance. Horse stance is such an underrated or underestimated exercise when it comes to improve your side split. So for the horse stance setup, we're gonna do it in a standing position, feet together, and then heels out, toes out, heels back out. So that's a 3-step horse stance. And then correct your toes a little bit to the outside, so they're like in a squat, slightly turned into outside, like 15 degrees. And then what we want to focus is, think of a normal squat, but really focus on that anterior pelvic tilt. So show it from the side. So yeah, let's assume she's in that 3-step again. And now as you go down, like in a squat, think of really that anterior pelvic tilt, so tailbone up, and think of abducting the knees. So push them outside as far as you can. Then go up again, focus on that anterior pelvic tilt, push them out, and back up. So if you turn again to the camera, so this 3-step stance is pretty easy for her. So she can easily, do it again, go down and sit down, even further. So that's not an anterior pelvic tilt in that deep position. So we're gonna increase that, maybe a 5-stance horse stance. So this is much more stress in the capsule. It requires much more anterior pelvic tilt strength and internal rotation of the hip. So here it's much harder for her. And what's really cool, you can also do an isometric hold, 2 to 3 seconds at the bottom, and then come back up and focus on holding that anterior pelvic tilt. You can do this and incorporate it this beautiful exercise into your current split routine. So guys, next up we have frog pails and rails. Frog pails and rails, another underestimated exercise. It's really good if you lack not only the strength in a deep abducted position, but also the passive range of motion. So here in this position, we want to focus on our widest frog position, having a 90-degree angle here in the knee, and really trying to go in the deepest abducted position of both hips. Again, here can focus as well on this anterior pelvic tilt. So really try to squeeze that tailbone up into the sky. You can be in a forward lean or here on your hands, depending on your preference. And stay here, if we do the pails and rails, at least 2 minutes. For really stiff persons, just do 3-4 minutes in this position to really tell you or convince your nervous system that it allows this position so it can increase the stretch reflex or the stretch tolerance. Okay, from here we can also apply isometrics, like I already said, the pails and rails. For the pails, just push both knees and ankles as hard as you can into the ground, trying to think of closing the legs. Really engage your adductors here. Push hard as you can for 15 seconds. Right after that, try to think of lifting both knees and both ankles away from the ground, opening up, and really what's important here, glute strength. Try to squeeze your glutes as hard as you can. Yeah, maybe they see here from the side, so anterior pelvic tilt, and squeeze as hard as you can, trying to think of opening up even more in hip abduction. So it's a beautiful exercise to strengthen this range with these isometrics, but also to convince your nervous system to go in a deeper range of motion for passive stretch.
So the last one that we want to show you, the last exercise, are split push-ups. So during the split push-ups, we get into a comfortable straddle position or split position, and then the goal is to get into a deeper split over time, so while doing the push-ups. So if you're fairly flexible already, you probably don't need the yoga blocks. If you don't have a lot of range of motion, then use the yoga blocks or another kind of another type of elevation to make sure that you can perform the exercise correctly. You'll see in a minute why we're doing this with hands elevated. So get into your position. So again, the goal is, as it was in the other exercises as well, to keep an anterior pelvic tilt. So think of tailbone towards the sky. Exactly. So now, can you just drop the blocks real quick? Can you do an anterior pelvic tilt? So now you see it. If you're not fairly deep, it gets really hard to get into an anterior pelvic tilt. Can you just walk the legs back up a bit? Yeah. So the higher up you are, the less likely it is that you get that anterior pelvic tilt. If he elevates his hands, he can have a straight back and make sure that he's in an anterior pelvic tilt. Okay, so from here, get into your position. You want to start somewhat upright, so you're not in a complete forward lean already. And then from here, you will perform a push-up. The goal is to keep your back straight the entire time as you perform the push-up and keep the anterior pelvic tilt. So you stop roughly like a 90-degree angle when you're in one line, as you would be like in a complete flat pancake, for example. While you're doing the push-up, legs are engaged, so engage your quads, engage your abductors, so glutes, outer thighs, and as you push, as you go into that lowest position and push back up, think of your legs sliding a bit further out, so into a deeper side split. So you're under tension the entire time, and you fight for a deeper split every single push-up. And you keep that anterior pelvic tilt the entire time. Looks really good here. You just go down and slide the feet out just a tiny bit, push back up. For the last rep, keep that anterior pelvic tilt and hold that position, the deepest position that you're in, for roughly 10 seconds. As you get better over time, you can also increase that last hold for up to 20 seconds, 30 seconds, really depends on your strength level and the stretch intensity. Good. So, and then also the better you get, the further down you get, you can just abandon those blocks or whatever it is you're using once you've got a decent range of motion. Good. So, if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more of that, then leave us a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel. Also leave us a comment in the comment section below if any questions. And if you're looking for an individualized program for something that is specifically tailored to what you need, to your current mobility level, then click the link for the free call below, schedule your free call, and yeah, we'll talk soon.